Other day I was talking about, tell me, what is the thing with MVC2 architecture? Yeah, various things related to MVC2 architecture, right? Yeah, we are only MVC popular, MVC with front control RISP. MVC with front controller. Only MVC is not so popular, right? The special servlet component that acts as entry and exit point for other web components of web application is called as what? Front controller. In frameworks, we will deal with user-defined front controller or ready-made front controller. In Spring MVC, Spring Boot MVC, what is the name of the front controller? Dispatcher servlet. It's a predefined servlet or user-defined servlet? Yeah, it's a definitely what, guys? Predefined servlet. Okay, that's good. Definitely that is what? Predefined servlet. Okay. It's a configuration with the servlet container is internal process or you have to do manually? On that one, load on startup is automatically enabled or you have to enable explicitly? Automatically enabled. You need not to enable explicitly, right, guys? Okay. So when we deploy the web application, what is there? When we deploy the web application, Spring MVC or Spring Boot MVC application, number one, because of load on startup enabled on dispatcher servlet, the dispatcher servlet will be instantiated or not there. In that process, init method executes automatically. Inside the init method, application context IOC container is created automatically. This container perform pre-instantiation of singleton scope Spring Beans. Come on, guys. This container perform pre-instantiation of what? Singleton scope Spring Beans. Okay. Next one. Pre-instantiation of singleton scope what? Spring Beans. And all these beans will be injected with each other or not there. And at the end, they will be kept in what? Internal cache of the IOC container. What do you say, guys? They will be kept in what? Internal cache of the IOC container. What do you say, guys? It's happening or not there? So definitely taking place, no doubt in that, right? Okay. Today we are going to understand Spring MVC flow or Spring Boot MVC flow. Damn sure interview question. If you answer this one very well, no more further questions in MVC. If you don't answer very well, there will be another 5-6 questions in MVC. It's the reverse. If you tell confidently, no supplementary question. If you don't tell confidently, there will be lot of supplementary questions. Be mentally prepared for. Yeah, before going to that, in Spring Boot MVC flow or Spring MVC flow, two special components are there. One is handler mapping, one is view resolver. Handler mapping is very useful to identify correct handler class to handle the request or not there. View resolver is there to identify correct view component to receive the results and format the results or not there. To receive the result or what? Format the results or not there. Are you understanding my statement, my dear? Come on. Handler mapping is helper component to front controller dispatcher servlet. When dispatcher servlet traps and takes a request, it should go to which handler class, which handler method will be decided by whom, guys? Handler mapping component, right? And once dispatcher servlet receives the result, that result should go to which view component and where it should be formatted is decided by whom, guys? View result. Handler mapping identifies the handler class or passes the request to handler class. That's a mistake. Identifies the hand. Mapping is not passing. Mapping is identifying. Handler mapping work is not executing handler class and its methods. Handler mapping work is what? For this request, this handler class, this method should execute. That's it. This handler class, this method should execute. That's it, nothing else. Nothing extra, nothing less. Are you getting my point, my dear? Come on. Okay. View resolver is executes the view component or identifies the view component. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Come on. Right. Identifies the view component or executes the view component. Resolving means identifying, not the executing. Resolving means not the executing. It's all about identifying the view component. Right. Execution is taken care by dispatch servlet. Only identification is done by whom? View resolve. Right. Okay. Resolving means mapping means linking. Linking means indirectly identifying only. Okay, now I'm opening flow of execution diagram, guys, and I want you people to understand this nicely. Class content, Spring here. Tell me next one. 718. Spring Boot MVC. Spring Boot MVC. Yeah, 1 minute. I'll change the numbers fastly. But not that. Immediately I have to change what? Session 2. Seven one eight. Yeah, we'll change very few important things first. That's good. Session 2, Spring Boot MVC application. What application, guys? Spring Boot MVC application. Spring Boot MVC is equal to, what is there? Spring MVC plus plus. Yeah. Spring MVC, Spring Boot MVC is designed around what? Predefined front controller servlet called dispatcher servlet. That means all operations and flows in the web application takes place what? Under the control of dispatcher servlet. Under the control of what? Dispatcher servlet. The main component of Spring MVC, Spring Boot MVC, dispatcher servlet, handler class or controller class, where we either process the request or delegate the request to service class. Handler mapping, my dear, come on. What is there? Handler mapping, guys. It is useful to map or link the request with what? Appropriate handler method of service class, right? Next one, view component. What's there, guys? View component. Understanding my statement, guys. They are the JSP components having presentation logics are not there. View resolver. What is there, guys? View resolver. It is useful to identify the view components are not there. It is definitely useful to identify the view components are not there. A view component means JSP or HTML file right now. In future, it will be React and Angular. View resolver is to identify the view component. Handler class is okay, either to directly write the business logic or to delegate the logic request to what service or DAO classes. To identify the handler class, we have a handler mapping or not there. Handler mapping is helper component. What component, guys? Handler mapping component is a helper component. Helper component that identifies correct handler or controller class to handle the request trapped by whom? Dispatcher. View resolver is helper component that resolves or identifies correct physical view component name and location to format the result by executing presentation logic or not there. Okay, this is what view resolver. Super. Conclusion. To send dispatcher servlet trapped request to appropriate handler method of handler class, we need the support of what? Handler mapping component. To send and format handler method generated or gathered results by identifying appropriate physical view component like what? JSP. We need what? View resolver component. We definitely need what? View resolver component. Right, guys? Servlet component is not identified with its what? Class name. Is identified with its URL pattern or not? Spring Bean is not identified with its class name. It is identified with its pin ID or not there. The controller class handler method, nothing but handler class handler method, is not identified with the method name. Is identified with what? Request path given in which annotation? At the rate request mapping annotation. Check it out. Public class my controller. How normal class become controller class, guys? This is handler method, guys. Flexible signature. Any signature can be there. Come on. Public request mapping show home page. This is called request path. That is given through at the rate request mapping or not. If incoming request URL is having welcome word, the request will be trapped and taken by handler method. Every handler method of controller or handler class is identified with its what? Request. Is identified with its what? Request. Everyone convinced or not there? To configure Java class as Spring Bean come controller or handler class, we need at the rate controller annotation or not there? We definitely need at the rate controller annotation or not there? To configure Java method of controller or handler class as what? Handler method with request path, we can use what? At the rate request mapping annotation or not there? One handler class can have multiple handler method with unique request path. With a unique request path. Everyone getting my point there, guys? Okay. Yeah, once again, check it out. Handler class either directly process the request or delegate the request to service to you. In handler class, one handler method will be there or lots of handler method. Handler method signature is fixed or flexible. All these handler methods are identified with method name or request paths. How to give those request paths? Directly or by using annotation? What is that annotation? Some people are not responding. Please respond. Okay, how to make normal class as a controller class? At the rate control. Okay, generally we take controller class on one per module basis. What basis? Service one per module. DAO one per table. Front controller only one. For entire project only one, that is dispatchers. Controller class or handler class, one and the same. How to make normal class as Spring Bean come controller class? At the rate controller. What is the annotation we have to use, guys? At the rate controller. Are you getting my point, my dear? Super, guys. Spring MVC, Spring Boot MVC. This is the story. Now, everyone please have a look on this. Spring MVC, Spring Boot MVC application. That's there or not there, guys? That's there or not there. Okay, now focus. First ID, browser client. Dispatcher servlet front controller. Configured with what URL pattern? Slash. That means traps tracks every request. Handler mapping is helper component. One controller class is taken. In that one handler method is taken. Okay. This is my view resolver. This is my view component where I am going to keep presentation logic, guys. Okay, this is the whole mechanism or not there. Okay, that's good, great, fantastic. Let's have a look on this. Number one, programmer deploys. What, guys? Programmer deploy Spring Boot MVC application in web server. Any confusion on that? What, man, after so many days? No, first to feel shy, then talk, or first talk, then feel shy. You are mixing both, I am not understanding. Which one? You are talking about other kind. If these people are attending, na? Huh? Fine, okay. Your wish. Today completed, that? Change the timings. Oh, 5:30. Good. I think you have been fighting for that only. Right. But they did the right time because this is very important. Yeah. Number one, what is there? Deployed the application. Number two, listen. Because of load on startup that is enabled on dispatcher servlet, dispatcher servlet object is created during server startup. Second point, not completed. Due to this init method of dispatcher servlet executes, inside the init method, IOC container is created. That IOC container will create object for Spring Beans like handler class, handler mapping, view resolver. JSP is not a Java class, don't expect object. Okay, necessary injections are done on those objects, and that is kept in the internal cache of the IOC container. Come on, guys. Okay, with that, second step is completed. Pre-instantiation of dispatcher servlet, IOC container creation, pre-instantiation of Spring Bean, injection, and keeping them in IOC container. Done, not done, boss. Done, not done, boss. That is number two. Number three, browser gives a request, guys. What is that? Browser gives request. Okay, browser gives request. Number four, dispatcher servlet traps and takes the request. What do you say, guys? Definitely dispatcher servlet traps and takes the request. Applies the common system services. What is there, guys? Applies the common system services. Number five, handovers the request to handler mapping component. In the request, what is there? Info is there at the end. Okay, handler mapping component will search in all the controller classes. What classes? Will search in all the controller classes. Is there any? Is there any? Come on. Is there any handler method whose request path is /info? Is there any handler method whose request path is what? /info. There are, not there are. There are, not there are. Definitely there. Okay, listen, it won't execute, guys. It will gather that method signature, controller class default bean ID, and passes to dispatcher servlet. Look at this 6 question mark. It will search in all the controller classes for the handler method whose request path is what? Info. Found. Gathers that handler method signature, controller class bean ID, and come on, controller class what? Bean ID, and passes them to whom, guys? Dispatcher servlet. Passes them to whom, guys? Simply literally passes them to dispatch. Okay, boss. 6 is over, 7 is over. 7, what it says? Controller class bean ID, handler method signature to DS. 6, 7. Super. What dispatcher servlet will do? Don't forget, inside the dispatch servlet, one IOC container is created or not? Created or not created? Yesterday, today. Every day it created. It will be created every day, na? I asked yesterday, today, and you are saying today. Dummy, dirty, waddy fellows. Whenever you work with the dispatch servlet, every day it will be created, na, my dear. Then why are you saying today or yesterday? I will test like this once in a while. Two answer will choose one answer. Don't become sheeps. What's the specialty of sheeps? One sheep goes this direction. They don't even ask why they are going. Fine. Okay. Dispatch servlet is already having IOC container. To that IOC container, controller class bean ID is submitted. Submitted or not submitted? Definitely submitted, right? Okay. Controller class bean ID. Submitted means control class object comes. On that object, it will happily call handler method. Handler mapping is just helping to identify the handler method, passing the signature to dispatcher. Dispatcher servlet is actually calling the handler method or not. Super, guys. That is 8. And handler method executes or not there. That is 9. Come on. Handler method executes or not there. That is 9. Okay. Handler method of handler class. In small application, it will directly process the request. In big applications, come on. In big application, it will communicate with the service and DAO classes or not. It will communicate with the service and DAO classes or not there. Say something, my dear. I want reply, my dear. It will communicate with what? Service and DAO classes. Okay, when it is communicating with the service and DAO classes, some result will come now, boss. It keeps that result in some scope, generally request scope. Request scope specific to each request. When inputs are specific to request, output also specific to request, now, boss. New request, new inputs, new output. Okay, it keeps in scope. Okay, now listen. Controller class handler method, nothing. Handler class handler method does not return result, guys. It will return one token. It will return one token with respect to which view component it should use. One token kind of thing. That is technically called logical view name, LVN. Nothing but logical view name. Are you getting my point there, guys? Logical view name. Yeah, logical view name to dispatcher servlet. Super. Dispatcher servlet passes this logical view name to whom? View resolver. This logical view name to whom, guys? View resolver. Are you getting my point, guys? This logical view name to view resolver. This logical view name to view resolver. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Okay, that's good, great. This view resolver somehow linked to property file, XML file, submits the logical view name token, nothing but token, and gets name and location of the physical view component, nothing but real JSP file name and location. What is that? Real JSP file name and location. Physical view component name and location will come or not there? Will come or will not come? Will come or will not come? Super, guys. That is 12. Okay, it is number 13. Front controller communicates with what? Physical view component. Front controller definitely communicates with what, guys? Physical view component. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Come on, everyone. Okay. Already result is there in request scope, na? This ASP will read from request scope. Using its for presentation logic formats the result. You view component JSP, right? Internally what JSP or HTML or something else in future Angular and React on. Will definitely format the results or not there. Super. Number 14, sends the formatted results to front controller servlet or not. Simply literally sends the formatted result to whom, guys? Front controller servlet. Okay, front controller servlet sends those results to browser as a response or not. Browser takes those results and will be displayed them as web page or not there. Already I have given similar little flow, okay? But this time we are giving framework related flow, guys. Once again, number one, deployed the application. Total 3 times I'll explain. I don't know how you concentrate. You have to concentrate because after the class, okay, see this one 4-5 times. Draw the diagram on your own. Keep the numbers on your own and record your voice explaining the flow. Until you get the satisfactory answer, repeat that again and again. You need not to make others to listen. When you listen, you should satisfy. If you satisfy, you can satisfy interviewer. Or, no sir, I cannot judge myself. You record, make neighbor to listen. Neighbor record, make you listen. Until your friend says, yes, perfect flow. Till that time, record. If don't record, at least you make each other listening. Come on. Without asking this question, your Spring Boot microservice interview will not be completed. If completes, I will say you don't know how to take interview. I'm blaming interviewer only. This waste fellow, you don't know how to take interview. If that company gives offer letter also, don't join. My suggestion. Yes or no, na guys? That much important it is, right? Those are attending interviews. They might have realized how important this flow is, guys. And moreover, this flow is based for Spring Boot REST also. This flow is even based for what? Spring Boot REST. Spring Boot REST also based on this flow. So that's why no compromise. You have to learn and you have to perfect. You have to become perfect in this flow, boss. No option for you. Okay, let it be, guys. Now let's see. Number one, programmer deploys web application in web server. Any confusion on this? Easy, na? Number two, because of load on startup enabled on dispatcher servlet is instantiated. In that process, init method of dispatcher servlet executes. Inside the init method, come on, IOC container. This container perform pre-instantiation of singleton scope Spring Bean like handler mapping, view resolver. Come on. View resolver, handler classes, and etc. Necessary injections are done among the bean, and all these are kept in internal cache of the IOC container or not. Perfect. All these are kept in internal cache of the IOC container or not there. Okay. Tell me, guys, what's the next one? All those are kept in internal cache of the IOC container or not there. Okay, guys. Next one. Yeah, next one. Browser gives the request. Number 3. Dispatch servlet is front controller with a slash URL pattern. It will trap and take the request or not there. It will definitely trap and take the request or not there. Super. Number 5. It will hand over the request to whom? Handler map. It will hand over the request to whom, guys? Handler map. It will definitely hand over the request to whom, guys? Handler map. Okay. Number 6, guys. Number 6. Number 6. Tell me. handler mapping component gets the incoming request URI last word, nothing but request path, and searches in all controller classes for the handler method whose request path is what? Info. Whose request path is what? Info. There are not there. There are not there. Definitely there. Come on, guys. Okay, then what it will do? It will gather handler method signature, controller class bean ID, handler method signature, controller class bean ID, passes to whom, guys? Passes to whom, guys? Passes to whom, guys? Dispatchers are simply literally passes to whom, guys? Dispatchers servlet. Are you understanding my statement? Simply literally passes to whom, guys? Dispatchers. Okay, that's good, great. Dispatcher servlet submits the bean ID of controller class, gets the controller class object. On that object, it will call the handler method or not there. That is number 8. Okay, that is number 8. Okay, handler method either process the request or delegates the request to what? Appropriate handler method of the handler class. Come on, guys. Sorry, appropriate service and DAO. From there, it will gather the result. It will keep the result in what? Request scope. And it returns token related to physical view component, nothing but JSP file. It won't return the result. It just return the token. Sir, why it is returning token? It can directly return JSP file name, na? Today it has written JSP file name. Tomorrow I changed file name. I changed technology itself. Problem na boss. Very intelligently it is returning token all. Fine. Okay, dispatch servlet takes the token and passes the token to view resolver or not. This view resolver is linked with property file or XML file. There I submitted token. There I submitted token. Submitted token or not. There I submitted token. I got the name and location of the physical view component. Name and location of the physical view component. Are you understanding my statement? Super, that's really great, guys. Okay, dispatcher servlet communicates with the physical view component. From there, it will gather the scoped data, format the result, and sends formatted results to front controller servlet or not. Sends those formatted results to front controller servlet or not. That is what? 14. What is there? 15. Dispatcher servlet send those formatted results to browser as response. Number 16. It will display those results in browser as a dynamic web page or not. It will display those results as in the browser as a dynamic web page or not there. That's really great, guys. Handler mapping does not execute handler method of handler class, but it helps dispatcher servlet to identify a right handler method of handler class to process the request. Similarly, note. View resolver does not execute what? View component. It helps the dispatcher servlet in the identification of correct physical view component like JSP file. Here logical view name is what? It's a token given to view resolver component through DS based on which the name and location of physical view component will be decided. The name and location of physical view component will be decided. Are you comfortable, my dear? Come on. Based on which the name and location of physical view component will be decided. Convinced, my dear? Come on, got the clarity or not there? The process of deploying web application or distributed application in web server or application server is called deploy. And the process of removing that application is called what? Undep. The process of removing that one is called undeploy. Okay, what I want to do is I'll give I'll give 5 minutes to you people. What your work is, go through each number, feel the flow. If you stuck up anywhere, mark that number on the paper in the mind. And at the end, when I am explaining the flow for the third time, okay, once again, you clarify your doubt. Right? But everyone spent 5 minutes to take each number and feel the flow. Focus on the screen, not here and there. Ready with the story, guys? Ready with the story, guys? Are you ready with all the numbers? Are any stuck up somewhere? Okay, if you stuck up somewhere, now try to understand because later I'm going to ask number by number. Number one, we deploy the web application in web server. That's quite normal one. Number two, because of load on startup enabled on dispatcher servlet, the servlet container perform pre-instantiation of dispatcher. Pre-instantiation means okay object. In that process, init method of dispatcher servlet executes. In that process, IOC container is created. In that process, pre-instantiation of singleton scope spring beans are created, like handler class, handler mapping, view resolver, service, DAO, whatever. Necessary injections are done, and all of them are kept in what? Internal resource of the IOC, internal cache of the IOC container or not. Any confusion on second point gone now, guys? Very lengthy point, but if you can tell or you can ignore also. Well, again, while explaining the flow, dispatcher servlet related, okay, pre-instantiation activities takes place. That's it. It's a simple line. If you want to elaborately tell, you can tell. That's up to you. Next, number three, browser gives the request or not there. Browser gives the request. Number four, dispatcher servlet traps and takes the request or not there. Number five, dispatcher servlet hand over the request to whom? Hand over the request to whom? Handler mapping. Number six. Number six, handler mapping component. What component, guys? Yeah, searches for the handler method. Having signature, okay. Having request path info. What is there? Yeah, whose request path is matching with incoming request path, guys? Yes or no? Okay. Request path is matching with request path. Okay, that's good. That method, that is number seven. It will gather handler method signature, controller class bean ID, come on, and passes that information to dispatcher servlet or not. Passes that information to whom? Dispatchers. Are you getting my point there, guys? Super. Passes that information to dispatcher servlet. Okay. That is 9, 10. What is 11? Okay. Dispatcher servlet submits controller class bean ID to IOC container, gets the controller class object. On that object, it calls the handler method or not? On that object, definitely it will calls the handler method. What do you say, guys? No second thought in that. Okay. Handler method. That is what this. Number 9. Handler method either directly process the request or by communicates with what? Service or DAO classes. Okay, to process the request to generate the result and gets the result, and also keeps the result in request scope. But number 10, this is very important. It is not returning result. It is returning what? Token, nothing but logical view name related to view component. Number 11, tell me. Dispatcher servlet passes that logical view name to whom? Number 12. View resolver passes that what? Talks to property file and gets submits the logical view name and gets what? Name and location of the physical view component. Name and location of the physical view component. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Super. Number 13. Dispatcher servlet passes. Execute physical view component. This physical view component contain presentation logic. Come on. Contains what? Presentation logic. There, tell me, guys. From there, from request scope, it gets the result, formats the result, and sends formatted result through dispatcher servlet or not. Sends formatted result to what? Dispatchers. Okay, that's good. That is 14. Number 15. Sends formatted results to browser as response. Number 16, it will display formatted result in the form of dynamic web page or not. Okay, I think now all your doubts are clarified. Okay, now I want to check how much you clarified your doubts. I will pick up the people randomly. I'll ask a number and you have to explain the purpose. Because you said all doubts are clarified. Right? Okay. Mr. Denim Jeans, get up. Yeah, Denim Jeans, you only. Okay. Super. What is number 10? Huh? What? Who gets the token? Who generates the token? Controller class handler method sends token, nothing but logical view name to dispatcher servlet. What servlet? Okay, that's good. Sit down. What happens in number 13? Okay, black shirt, get up. Not you, not you, not you. This black shirt. You only, ra. Number 13. First tell me where is 13? Here is there. Physical view component means JSP, na? Yeah, tell me, what is 13? Okay, you need time? Okay, go back and think. Go back and think. Mister, 13. Yeah, dispatcher servlet executes physical view component. In that process, presentation logic execute, gets the request scope result, formats it. Your answer is itna chota hai. Actual point is this much. Okay, try 14. Physical view, what is that? Dispatchers are. Yeah, after executing presentation logic, view component generates the result. Those formatted results will be sent to what? Dispatcher servlet. That is 14 or not. Sit down. Okay. Who can answer number 6? 1 minute. Let's give chance to 33%. Specs madam, get up. You only. You know you only, but you are looking for another specs madam. Huh? Okay. 6. First tell me where is 6? Here is there. Tell me. Bit louder. I have hearing problems. Takes from browser. Take from browser. Okay, go ahead. Good, good. And searches for handler method whose request path is matching with incoming request URL request path. Right? Okay. You said answer, I said answer. I said. Okay, try 7 now. Don't panic. 7 is very nearby. You keep tension aside, 100% answer you will get. All these are human beings. I am also a human being. Okay, they also don't know anything. They are just, until question is asked, they will behave like they know everything. You are trying. Yeah. Handler mapping component fetches controller class bean ID, handler method signature, and sends to dispatcher servlet. Sit down. Another specs, madam. Last row of specs, madam. I want you to explain number 8. Number 8. You are not seeing number 8 here? Okay. 1 minute. I think 4 eyes now. Let me increase. No, I want to listen, not your friends. I want to listen. Object is fetched. Good. Going good. Go ahead. Yeah. Correct, but correct terminology. First, listen how to tell. Receives the bean ID and submits to IOC container of dispatcher servlet. Gets the controller class object. On that object, calls the handler method. Come on. Calls the handler method. And so that it will execute the handler method, right? Good. You attempted nicely. Sit down. Maroon black t-shirt. Maroon black t-shirt. White also there. Maroon, black, white, get up. Yeah. You try number 12. I'm listening. You try number 12. Yeah. View resolver submits given logical view name to different places, property file or XML file, and it gets what? Name and location of the physical view component, nothing but JSP file, and sends that information to whom, guys? Dispatchers. Great. Okay. Dadiwala, get up. Tell me what is number 2. Everyone relax. He will take time and number 2. Yeah, fine. You are selling middle part. Starting part is what? What is the starting point? Init method execution, fine. What is the starting point? Wait, wait. He will tell. He is also talented fellow. Help yourself. Before that, what? Init method execute directly. Yeah. Before that, what? Are already ready-made na? How created ra? It's a ready-made one na? I think you are taking tension. Okay. Gulab gang member 1. Where is your gang leader? She left, huh? She is ruling another area. This area is given to you. Okay, Diwali. Okay, fine. Right. Black and white. Who will get up? One member enough. Gulab gang member 1. Black only you get up. Yeah. Tell me number two. IOC. No, before that, what? Everyone is missing the starting point. Wait. Your chance is gone. Your chance is gone. Let them talk. Let the voice rise. Okay, tell. Whatever you know, you tell. I'll take it. IOC container created. Where? There's a lengthy point. Yeah, exactly backside one spec madam is there. Get up. Exactly back row. Both, any one of you choose. Any of friends na, you choose. Who want to get up, you decide. Who want to get up? Yeah, she is getting up means you know the answer. I'm expecting answer. Come on. That's fine. Everyone directly going to init method. How object is created for a dispatcher servlet? Okay, fine. Leave it. Start from init method. Inside init method, IOC container is created. Super. Going good. Go ahead. Super. Super. But all are good, but because of load on startup enabled on dispatcher servlet, it is pre-instantiated. In that process, init method execute. In that process, IOC container created. In that process, singleton scope spring beans are instantiated. In that process, injection happen. Because of that, all those are kept in what? Internal cache of the IOC container. How's story looking nicely? Patch. What's the use? Okay, you sit down. Okay, now I'm giving double bumper offer to you people. Repeat it. First you start. Just repeat, man. Number two only I want. Feeling insulted? No problem. Two only you repeat. Load on startup, you are creating a new terminology. Because of load on startup. Because of load on startup, init method is called. Should I hit my head to pillar or I should hit your head to pillar? My dear fellow. So regular, so punctual. Actual task is missing. Listening class. Because of load on startup enabled on dispatch servlet, dispatcher servlet is pre-instance. That means object is created. Then what happens? In that process, init method execute. In that process, IOC container. In that process, pre-instantiation of singleton scope spring bean. In that process, injection among the bin. In that process, they are kept in internal cache of the IOC container. Which place? Bihar, UP, Madhya Pradesh? Huh? 2000 kilometers will be there? Huh? 1200. Came from 1200 kilometers for sitting idle, sitting speechless, not going to work out. You have to improve. If it is stage fear, come out of that. If subject problem, work out. Because I know you are coming regularly and sincerely, but if things are not working out, you have to work out something. Madam, you repeat. You sit down. Just repeat, madam. Copy करना भी नहीं आता क्या? No, no, don't become panic. Try. Becoming panic? Fine. Take your own time. I want you to tell two today. And I don't want to see tomorrow onwards bunking the class. Today I asked na tomorrow onwards. Both pages ho gaya. I don't show my face to Amir Pet. No, no, don't take suggestion. Be brave. Okay? Today you failed. Tomorrow you can win. What is there in that? Right. Cap wala, get up. Number 2 only I want, nothing else. Huh? No, I don't want number 1. I want number 2. Okay, fine, good. Because of load on startup. Huh? Super. All spring beans are pre-instantiated. Super. Injections are happened. Then internal cache. Yes? Okay, fine. Anyone can help me to identify number 5? Number 5, 1 minute. Let me pick up. I'm thinking some people are intellectual. Whether they are really intellectual or not, I want to check. Oh yeah, get up. You only. Number 5. Huh? No, I am not asking 6. I am asking 5 only. Dispatchers are let hand over the request to handler. See, you are telling, but proper wordings also matters. Hand over the request to handler mapping, having URI and path. Request path and URI. Right. Okay. Sit down. Okay. What is number? I want people to explain number 4. Number 4. Number 4. Last, madam. Maharashtra, madam. Get up. No, I don't want 5th. I want 4 only. I want 4. You are telling 5. Passing to handler mapping is 5. What happens in 4? Handovering request to handler mapping is 5. Tell me what's happening in 4. You attempt one more time, you can do it. Are dispatchers are let traps and takes the browser request and applies common system services as a front controller, right? Overexcited. Okay, at least try number 7. Collects the bean ID, right? Gets the signature of what? Handler method. Use words properly. And passes to whom? Okay, now I am asking complementary question. My controller class don't have bean ID. Then what it will pass? My controller class don't have bean ID. Then what it will pass? Wait. I have not given bean ID to controller class. Then what it will pass? Bean ID still passes or nothing? I'm asking that default bean ID will be passed. Sit down. Okay. Mr. Olive Green, get up. Not. Hmm. Explain me what's happening at number 3. I think most simple thing for you. 3. Tell me where is 3 first? Where is 3? Here na? Okay, tell me what happens. I have a hearing problem. Can you be loud? What happens in 3, ra? System will give request. What is this box? System? Something else? Wait, I'm worried about him. That is browser, my dear. Browser gives request to website, na? Browser gives request to website, right? Super. Sit down. You know answer, but you are not giving proper wordings. Okay. Mm-hmm. Very Chikna nowadays. Huh? Chikna गायब हो गया. Hometown. Chikna, are you there online? Chikna, are you there in one online? I think Chikna is not there in online. Okay. Ask some online, huh? Okay. Online, all questions to online only. For you, not specific one. Everyone can answer online. Right. Okay, online student. Online student, 1 minute. You want online people to answer. Dudekula Basha, tell me 15. Mr. Dudekula Basha, tell me what is 15? Communist Party hero. Number, Mr. Basha Bhai, 15 kya hai? That's why I don't ask on. You are typing, huh? Okay, type. I'm giving 1 minute time. Fine. Anyone, 15th, what is 15th, guys? Yeah, for dispenser let sends formatted result to browser as response. Okay. Mr. Kid, still looking like engineering, not engineering, +2 student. Engineering completed? Engineering or BSc? Engineering only. So young. No, you should feel happy. Okay. Tell me, what is number 16? Last number. Huh? No, will not be created. Fine. Summarize right. Browser takes a response and it displays it as what? Web page. Fine. Web page created right, but properly not correct. See now, it will display received response as what? Web page on the browser window. Okay, great. All the numbers are explained here nicely now, guys. Yes, this is about the flow. See, don't take relax. See, these many days I never asked to query, I never stressed it this much. Because fine, okay. If 1-2 point miss, no problem. But without this, your interview of Spring Boot microservice will not be completed. Would not be completed. Madam, you want to attempt number 2? Tension coming? Okay. You sit down. Ask neighbor madam to get up. Gulag ma'am, another member. You want to try? No. Fine. Anyone want to try number two? Because number two only little lengthy one. Voluntarily I am asking. Anyone from boys or girls? You want to try? Black shirt. Number two. Yeah, I'll give chance. Let me give. Want to try? Come forward. Come forward. You are louder. You're mugged up the words and mixing your own story. After getting load on startup is wrong. Based on the load on startup that is enabled on dispatcher servlet, dispatcher servlet is pre-instantiated. In that process, init method execute. Because of that, IOC, simple Rababu. Because of that, pre-instantiation of singleton scope Spring Bean. Because of that, injection among the beans. And all those will be kept in internal cache of the IOC content. Everyone getting my point there, guys. Because of the internal cache of the IOC content. So that is number 4 or not there, guys. Sorry, that is number 2. Fine. This is about MVC flow. By hook or crook, you have to remember. It should not be there in brain. It should be there in blood. Brain may stop working during sleep. Heart may stop becoming dumb when you are down. Because emotions. But blood should always boil. Blood should always flow. So flow should be there in your blood flow. If someone asks you, where is MVC flow? Not in brain, not in heart. It's there in my blood. Huh? Khoon, you're saying. Yeah. Right. It should flow in your blood. So midnight, 2 o'clock also someone asks you to explain spring MVC flow. Draw the diagram, explain. If you say, I don't want diagram, then you simply say what? I deployed application, dispatch servlet pre-instantiated. No need of telling lengthy story about two. Browser given request, dispatch servlet wrapped request, hand over the request to handler mapping. Handler mapping searches for what? Correct handler method of handler class based on the request path. Okay, handler mapping collects handler method signature, controller class bean ID gives to dispatcher servlet. Dispatch servlet submits the bean ID, gets the controller class object. On that object, dispatcher servlet calls handler method. Handler method executes. Come on. When it executed what? Output generated, or by talking to service DAO, output generated. That output is kept in what? Request scope. Dispatchers, handler method of handler class returns what? Logical view name. Okay. Dispatcher servlet passes what? Logical view name to view resolver. View resolver talks with what? Property file or configuration file and gets what? Real physical view component name and location. Number 12. View resolver passes view. Name and location of view component, physical view component to dispatcher servlet. Are you getting my point there or not? Super. Okay, next. Yeah, dispatcher servlet. Yeah, tell me guys. Dispatcher servlet. Dispatcher servlet passes. Dispatcher servlet passes logical view name to view resolver. Get the physical view component name and location. Dispatcher servlet execute physical view component using format. Presentation logic receives the request scope result and format the result. Number 14 sends formatted results to dispatcher servlet. Dispatcher servlet sends formatted result to browser. and browser displays that result as a web page. But if you tell like this, you may not understand because what is there in brain, you don't know. So first draw the diagram while keeping each number, explain the flow. Don't keep the numbers first and don't explain. Keep number 1, explain. Keep number 2, explain. Keep number 3, explain. That only works out. Remaining things will not work out. Okay, now I'll take the queries from this flow, guys. Okay, online and offline. I'm giving 5 minutes time. Be free to ask all your queries. Don't ask me how to implement, I will tell. We have ready-made view resolver, ready-made handler mapping. You should know how to configure it. Handler mapping is predefined. View resolver is predefined. You should know how to create and activate it. Most of the time, we get them through auto configuration. You need not to worry about. Only handler class JSP components only we develop. Dispatch servlet ready-made. Handler mapping ready-made. View resolver ready-made. We need to know how to activate them. Only handler class we develop. View component we develop. Any queries from your side? We have 5 minutes time. Nothing is there. See how we got scopes in Java application. Method scope, object scope, class scope. In web application also scopes are there. Request scope specific to each request. Request came, response gone. Till that time only data is visible. Session scope specific to each browser client. Application scope specific to each web application. More bigger scope is application scope. What if there are more than handler method matching request path? You will get exception, right? In the deployment only, it says 2 methods are having same request path. I am getting exception. It shows, forget about deployment. Deployment fails. Deployment fails. Because in the deployment only, controller class object creation will have a problem. Controller class object creation will definitely lead to problem. Any other queries? It's good. If anyone says Spring MVC flow is difficult, we will say yes or no. Easy. And moreover, you never forget also. Why? While developing each application, we revise the flow, we use it. We revise the flow, we use it. There's no question of forgetting. If you want to develop application, you should remember the flow. What's the beauty, you know? Flow is already decided. Components are decided. Most of the components are ready-made. You should know how to activate it. Only 1-2 classes you have to develop. This will definitely reduce burden on the programmer or not. Are you going to take care of everything or only a few things, guys? That's why it will reduce the burden of our. Right? Okay. Tomorrow, this is diagram-based flow, guys. Tomorrow, I will give code-based flow. I'll introduce each component, its code. And we put all the things together, we'll see code-based flow. Once code-based flow is ready, come on. Can we change our physical view component after deployment? How you can change it? In the middle of the production, you cannot change. Before deployment only, you have to change. If you want to change, you have to stop and change it. No option. You have to stop and change it. That's called maintenance of the project or a project shutdown kind of thing. Huh? What is there? You will get exception. No, see, you will get exception. Huh? You given request. No handler method found, no controller class found. You will get 404. Requested resource not found. Why advanced Java if abstraction provides framework? That's what I'm saying. In advanced Java, you learn technology-based application. Here we learn framework. So that we can feel abstraction on it. That's why advanced Java is only bridge course. Don't study seriously. I'm only telling, na. I only telling. If you don't learn advanced Java, you never feel this abstraction. That's it. Only bridge course to know what is what. Don't focus on it. See, you come directly to Servlet JSP, guys. Without Servlet JSP, you come to Spring. Will you understand my terminologies? Web server, container. Browser request. No. Can we spend that much time explaining what is browser, what is server at this level? No. So that's why first you learn basics through technology based programming, enjoy abstraction and framework based programming. Now, if that is the case, why core Java also, if you ask, I cannot answer. Because we are saying everything is there in framework now, why core Java? But without knowing how to write code, how will write the framework program? So that's why there is an order to follow, you have to follow it. Will we learn enterprise application development? Or first learn distributed if you combine both enterprise application. All our mini projects after distributed application development are going to be what? Enterprise applications. Muhammad Aki, first try to understand what is enterprise, web application plus distributed application. Right now we have not learned distributed, forget about enterprise application. Yeah, it will learn. Overall we will learn. Where is this? Where is this? Yeah, where is this? 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m.? 7 p.m. Spring Data JPA. Spring Boot MVC. 718. MVC Session 2. Thank you guys. Have a nice time. We'll meet tomorrow.